Hi, welcome to Universal Interiors. Les Inglestead.
Uni Fegley.
And we get to talk to you today over a little cup of tea. Here we are. We get into so many conversations, Uni and I, and we love to just share what's stirring in our heart. But one thing our friend Raina has brought up that we often get to talking, and we don't really maybe talk about where we get that information, or maybe if we're puzzled and feeling that, we talked a little bit last time. Maybe you caught us on the heart and the healthy heart. Mm-hmm. Maybe to follow that up is, I think, what we're going to kind of hit on today, because we want to kind of have it so you all know what we do when we need that encouragement. Maybe it's turned into a book somebody's just told you about, or you hear something. You can find it so many ways. And we just love to do our little chit chats because maybe Uni has learned something this past week or two, and I get to. And so that's kind of how we're approaching this show today. Is so we're aware that you know from what our last show was about helping your heart, and we talked to refresh it. It was super interesting when it was the pendulum, that clockmaker, actually in the 17th century. We were so blown away when we learned that it was one strong pendulum changed all the little ones out of sync, and then they all started working together. And to follow that up, we did a little research and all, and it's just that strong, what's pulling on our heart, okay? And then it kind of pulls everything else back into place. So today we're kind of addressing that, about maybe just reframing it or keeping it heart healthy, and how you can do something like that. My absolutely first thing I would tell you about is picking up God's Word, because that's the key to keeping our heart very healthy and very happy, for that matter, because the world is so full of busyness, of tugs on it, that kind of just take us to some other place. And if we can, in fact, in the book of Isaiah, you'll find something, well, it is so beautiful. It's from Isaiah 26:3. It says, "You will be kept in perfect peace, all who trust on you, whose thoughts are fixed on you." And what we learned about in the heart is when we get fixed on something, that strong pendulum swings to it.
Yes.
We get fixed on it. What do we need to do? We need to sharpen our skills, right? Maybe, again, like I was saying, turning into a book, the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it feels like, if you're out there and you're like, yeah, this stuff is really great, which is what we were talking about last week, kind of a debrief. It's nice to talk about it, but now what do you do? And really, it is the simple stuff you've learned at Sunday school.
Yep.
It's the simple love. It's that's not a good idea. I got to grab that thought and throw it down. And it's just baby step after baby step.
Yep.
And if you're faithful with a little, you always get more to be faithful in.
Exactly. And we have the root, kind of what our thought is that day. You know what? Sometimes, y'all, don't you wake up and you're like, oh, it's a good day. And then sometimes it's even before you get out of your bedroom and your thoughts are going to something not so good.
Right.
That's when you kind of stop it and recognize, what is it that's good about my life today? Just have that little, maybe you even need to record it. I know that many of you have been challenged that out there and to be positive, but writing it down, we were just having this discussion. I have the Word that I read, and in this it looks like a little, because I'm not afraid to get into God's Word and write, He's talking to me, so you'll see perhaps in this little writings, it's all about what I do. It's emphasizing something I know. And you know what? I run to this sometimes because I am just, it's such a busy little world out there, or somebody's just really bummed you out, or maybe it's just your own thoughts on your own self. We're so tough on ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's when you head to the room and you pick up something good, the inspirational calendar you might have. There's so many ways to get it. There really is.
Sometimes it's not even evil things that take you away. Sometimes it's just work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
kids.
Sometimes it's kids.
Yeah, it's just so much of living the dailies out there. And what can we do to just, again, make our heart healthy? I love that our world is about trying to get things healthier and happier and stronger, but there's so many ways to do it, and we have addressed this in a show or two about having a balance. And that's one thing that we need to do. Like Uni said, there's a lot of good things, but you can get caught up in doing too many good things, really. You get caught up in following the right laws even, or, the reasons for it. but you lose your heart issue, you're gonna start faltering pretty fast.
Yeah. And when you read in the Bible, you see the 10 Commandments, and God really doesn't want you to feel like this is this is this is this. But like Raina brought up last week, it's like when you are playing a game, those rules keep you safe. Those rules make sense. Those rules. So it's not that you have to, it's more that you get to.
Exactly.
You get to have a safety net.
Basically, right. You have and those commandments are out there, and some of us are just, okay, boy, I sure can do the check mark here. But that's not what it is. It's a heart issue behind all that. Because God is not a God of you can't do's.
And not
He just
points.
Isn't like that. Nope. He's not keeping any kind of score.
He's not saying, wow, 4 points on the
off. You know?
Love your neighbor, doing really well.
Yeah, and our heart is going to get kind of mixed up if we think that that's where it holds into. Just reading that this morning, my morning grab the word in the book of Galatians, it talks about you can't be about those. You know, a lot of religions are out there, and it seems safe because you know that you're living it right and religiously, but you're missing the heart issue.
Yeah.
And there, it's gonna start kind of messing with you and your family and your friends, your work. You get out of balance because then you can get critical pretty quick because you think you're doing the good job, and they're not. But if you get this, I'm going to challenge you. If you're thinking you're that, those guys don't get it, I get it. You better do a heart check, because that's what we're trying to teach you here. It is a balance. It is a place of healthy heart issue. And make sure that pendulum is swinging in the right place. Stop if you can. Take time out for yourself. I mean, really, time out. Somebody's got, you're pushing to the edge, run away for a minute. Get to your Creator. Have some time. He wants to keep it pretty filled up and full and fun, really.
And you need to maintain your own stuff.
Yeah.
There's enough in my life, there's enough for me to take over that I don't even need to hit my husband up and be like, here, we were talking a little bit.
Yeah, it happens.
You said it too, so good. Okay, yeah, we are, how did you say that? Yeah, we're a team, that's great, but I got this and you got this. It's
we got our own issues.
Two different roles there.
Yeah, those little fingers, you know, you're all taught that, hopefully, that pointing finger, there's 3 coming back at you. That's one of those things God gave us a long time ago, I think.
There's more.
Don't be shooting those people over there. There's a lot to learn to keep our heart healthy. And I hope you learned a little bit today. Again, God's word is where it's at.
It's true.
Keep the love flowing out of that healthy heart, and every day can be good.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks for coming. See you next time.